If you could build your own rechargeable office fan from leftover parts in your drawer, would you give it a try? If you're like most folks who enjoy fixing things around the house, you probably have a few old phone batteries and computer parts sitting in a drawer. Instead of letting them collect dust today, I'll show you how to turn those leftovers into a small rechargeable desk fan you can actually use. It's simple, practical, and a fun little project you can finish in one afternoon. Let's get started. To get this little fan running on battery power, you first need a solid power source. I start with 3 old Nokia BL5CB batteries and clean the metal contacts on each one. A small metal file or the pointed end of a steel tool works well. You only need to remove the thin layer of oxidation so the solder can grab onto the surface. Once the contacts look bright and clean, I line the batteries up and solder them in series. The positive end of one battery connects to the negative end of the next, all the way across the set. When you're done, you've turned 3 small phone batteries into one stronger pack with a higher voltage output, perfect for running a 12-volt cooling fan. This step takes a few minutes, but it makes a big difference in how well the final fan performs. Tell me where you're watching from. I always enjoy seeing the different cities and states you're tuning in from. To finish the battery pack, you only need to create a simple output line. Take 2 short pieces of wire and strip about ½ an inch of insulation from each end. Attach one wire to the positive end of your 3-battery chain and the other wire to the negative end. Keep the wires snug and clean so you get a steady connection when powering your fan. With these 2 output leads in place, the battery pack is now ready to deliver power to the rest of your build. Now that the battery pack is wired in series, it's time to see if it's strong enough to power a small load. I bring in a 12-volt cooling fan and touch its wires to the 2 output leads from the battery. The moment the connection is made, the fan starts spinning right away. This tells you the pack is delivering solid voltage and steady current. It's a quick way to confirm your work before installing everything into a case. When a simple test like this runs clean, you know you're ready for the next step. To make this fan easy to use on your desk, you set the battery pack inside a small plastic box. Open the lid and check the space so the 3 Nokia batteries fit neatly. A little hot glue on the bottom helps keep the pack from shifting when you move the fan around. Press the batteries firmly in place until the glue cools. With the pack mounted inside the box, you create a solid base for the rest of the wiring and controls. This step keeps everything organized and makes the fan safer and more comfortable to use every day. Once the battery pack is secured in the box, it's time to prepare the charging system. Take a 12-volt phone charger and open the casing carefully. Inside, you'll see a small circuit board that handles the power conversion. That board is exactly what you need. Remove it gently without bending any of the components. This little board will let your homemade fan recharge just like a store-bought device, and it fits perfectly inside the plastic housing you're building. Now take the small warning LED and set it onto the board. This light will tell BAN when the fan is running or charging, so it's a handy little detail. Hold the LED leads in place, then use your soldering iron to secure them to the marked spots on the circuit board. Keep your hand steady and make sure each joint is clean and solid. When everything cools down, give the LED a gentle tap to confirm it's fixed firmly. This step keeps the fan easy to use and lets band know the power system is working the way it should. Now that the parts are ready, you can place the circuit board inside the plastic box. Use a small amount of hot glue to hold it steady against the inner wall so it won't move when the fan runs. Once the board is in place, bring the two output wires from the battery pack over to the power input points on the circuit. Strip the wire tips, keep them clean and short, and solder them firmly to the board. Take a moment to double-check each joint. A solid connection keeps the power stable and helps the fan run smoothly without cutting in and out. With the wiring secured, the project is starting to look like a real rechargeable fan system. To finish the power setup, you take the plastic box and mark the spot where the plug will sit. Use a drill to make a clean opening just big enough for the two prongs to slide through. Keep the drill steady so the edges stay smooth. Once the hole is ready, you push the plug into place from the outside and check that it fits snugly without wobbling. Now the box has a proper inlet for charging and it looks neat and organized just like a store-bought device. Now it's time to set up the controls for your fan. Start by drilling a clean hole in the side of the plastic box where you want the push-button switch to sit. Make sure the hole is just big enough so the switch locks in tight when you press it through. Once the switch is in place, pull the small LED warning light through its own hole so it shows on the outside of the box. This light will tell you when the fan is getting power. Now it's time to set the plug in place. You hold the plug right over the hole you drilled earlier and line it up so it sits straight. Once it's in the right position, add a small amount of hot glue around the base to lock it firmly to the plastic housing. Take a moment to press it in while the glue cools. When it sets, the plug becomes solid and ready for wiring, giving your fan a clean and reliable charging point. This setup lets the switch act as a simple on and off control using the battery and the board to power the fan safely. After all the wires are in place, tug each one lightly to make sure nothing is loose. A clean layout here makes the fan run steady and keeps everything easy to fix later. Connect the wires from your 12-volt fan to the switch, the circuit board, and the battery pack. Start by feeding the fan's wire through the opening in the case so it sits clean and doesn't get pinched when you close the lid. Attach one fan wire to the push-button switch, then run another wire from the switch to the circuit board. The second fan wire goes straight to the battery output. Now that every wire is in place, it's time to clean up the inside of the box so your fan runs safely and looks neat. You take electrical tape and wrap it firmly around each connection. Make sure the tape goes tight and smooth so none of the wires are exposed. This step keeps the wiring secure and prevents any short circuits when the fan is running. When all the joints are insulated, you tuck the wires down into the corners of the box so nothing gets pinched. Then you close the lid and press it down evenly until it locks. Once the box is closed, your power unit is solid safe and ready to drive the fan mounted on top. Your fan is now fully assembled and ready to use. You can charge it, switch it on with a simple push, and enjoy clean airflow right on your desk. This project shows how a few old parts can still work well when you give them a second chance. If you like building practical tools like this, stay with me for more projects. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new idea. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.